What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rich Nice back once again. As I mentioned earlier in the last video when we did the bumper, we're going all the way up. So what we are going to do is we're going to put a 3.5-inch rough country lift on our Jeep Rubicon. This is her. She's a little bit dirty. It's been raining, yada yada yada. Anyway, there's a bunch of parts under here that got to come off, and then these parts over here are all the parts that are gonna go on. Now, yes, this kit is used, but I checked all the pieces are here. We have our shocks, our lower control arm brackets, our track bar bracket for the front, track bar bracket for the back. We have our axle mounts for our rear springs. We have the front bump stops. We have the rear bump stops. We have the Pitman arm and a couple of spacers if we need them. And we also have the sway bar end links. So some of the tools that you're gonna need a 19, 16, 14, 10, 18 millimeter, 21 millimeter, a 9/16, an adjustable wrench, an assortment of extensions, 1/4-inch ratchet, 3/8-inch ratchet, 1/2-inch ratchet, some deep well sockets, pry bar. We got an old trusty Milwaukee, and no, I'm not sponsored. And you will also need to have you an air gun. We've already removed the tires to help speed the video up. I put it up on jack stands on both sides. So what we'll do is we'll use our trusty jack right here to help raise and lower our axle once we get the parts off. So first things first, we need to crawl underneath. We need to mark the rear of our drive shaft so we'll know exactly which way to put it back in. Then we'll come up, we'll remove these ABS and brake line brackets right here because we got extensions for those. Then we'll come in, we'll remove our shocks, we'll remove our sway bar end links right here. We also got to come over here, take loose our steering stabilizer. This is our track bar for the front that we got to remove. Well, we just got to take the bolt out, and then that other bracket will go on top of that. What else? Upper and lower control arms, which are located right here and over here. So I'll be doing a lot of this stuff without having to show you guys, listen to a bunch of noise. This is our Pitman arm. We also have a Pitman arm puller, which I didn't show you, that came in from Amazon. There's our Pitman arm puller right there. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started on this side. Start taking some stuff loose and we'll go from there. As you can see, we marked our drive shaft right here, both flanges. We got one more bolt to take out right here. These are 15 millimeter. Apologize for the compressor. I need to go grab a bungee cord so we can tie it up so it's out of the way. So it's not just hanging there. So I'll be back. All right, we got our strap up here holding our drive shaft up out of the way. What I'm gonna do is take these bolts, stick them right back in to where they came from. That way we don't lose them. And we know exactly where everything goes. As you can see, there's multiple holes on this, so you can use different size drive shafts and all that good stuff. So we marked ours, so we should be able to put it right back where it went. No issues. All right, next thing I'm gonna need to do is take loose these brake arms, these brake lines. These are 10 millimeter here, and then there's another bolt that's right here that's a 10 millimeter. And get those out of the way so we can prepare to get our axle drop. Then there's a couple more things I need to take loose up front, like these sway bar end links. You gotta get our shocks out. So more to follow. Bar end links. The bottom two nut and bolt are both 18 millimeter. The top on the outside is 18, on the inside is a 19. So you'll need to use a 19 on this one right here to keep it from spinning to get it off. So I just wanted to show you that and point that out. All right, YouTube, on your shock, you have an 18 on the bottom, both in and outer. On the top, you have a 16 millimeter right here, and then down here is another 16. You need to hold this one to break this one loose to be able to get it out. If not, this would just start spinning. So on to the next one. Brake line brackets are 10 millimeter. I just use an extension and my battery powered miller. So we're gonna pull that out and we're gonna stick our bolt right back in that same location. There's also another one right here that's 10 millimeter. And I think we'll be able to get our socket on it. It has this little lip that slides in right down here. Not sure if y'all can see that, but it slips in right there and then the screw goes in. So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to put our screws back where they came from. That way we don't lose them. And we need to loosen this so when we drop the axle and try to take the spring out, it's not getting caught. So that bolt back right there. All right, the only thing other we left on this side that we have to do is our track bars. And I believe those are 21 millimeters. So let's get to it. And there's a lower, which is this one right here, and a upper. So I'm just gonna write an arrow on here so I know which way that goes back in. And we should be good to go. So let's go. One thing I need to show you is up on these upper control arms, they have these heat shields on them, and there's two 10 millimeter bolts, one right here, and there's another one over on this side somewhere. Oh, it's right up here on top. So I'll get those out and we'll be back. Again, we got the lower track arm out. We're working on the top. I got the bolt loosened already, so it's ready to come out. So also, I know it's a little bit hard, but there is a flag nut up here, so you don't have to have a wrench on the back. You just need your 18 millimeter to take the bolt out on the side. All right, here's your upper control arm. Again, these are 18 millimeter front and back. Over here, here's your flag nut. And this is also 18 millimeter. So everything that needs to come out on this side, besides the Pitman arm, it's ready to come out. So yeah, let's go. All right, so this bolt right here, it's a 21 millimeter. It's on your Pitman arm. The way to get this out is you could use a pickle fork, but you're probably going to tear this boot up. So the best thing to do is just give it a couple of taps right here with a hammer. Don't take your nut all the way off, so that way when this drops down, it doesn't swing out and hit you or hurt somebody. So I'll give it a couple whacks and we'll be back. All right, YouTube, we got everything loose. Next, we'll be taking out the Pitman arm. This bolt right here is 21 millimeter. Bolt in the back is a 33 millimeter. So I had to take the track bar completely out just to be able to get to that bolt. So now we can use the puller and pull that out. So this is the Pitman arm puller. It just slides on the back and the top just like that. You screw it in just like that. Then we take our ratchet, which is right here, and it has a little spot in here for this ratchet. We want to tighten it. I used the breaker bar to loosen it up, and there it is. So just remember which way it was facing when you pulled it out. Ours was sitting like this, because inside you'll see these little grooves right there. They're kind of raised, and those fit on the little grooves that's up in here. There's some little grooves right there. So make sure you line those back up. So one thing I didn't have out here was the springs. So these are your springs. The two shorter ones go in the back, the two taller ones go in the front, compared to our front stock springs, our front stock shock, aftermarket stock shock. So now that we have everything loose, we're ready to start bolting stuff back up. So let's see what we should do first. All right, what's going on, YouTube? It's the next day. Sorry I didn't get the film. It got late. Camera ran out of battery. You know how it is. So on the front, we put our lower control arm bracket for our upper and lower control arms in. We tighten them down. They need to be torqued to 125 foot-pounds. We got our bracket in for our brake line extension. We got our new shocks in. We got our new springs in. There is a bump stop down here. I'm not sure how well y'all can really see that because it's kind of dark, but anyway, there's that bump stop. You got to drill a 3/8 hole right in the center of this metal piece to put this bump stop in. We got our new Pitman arm in. We got our track bar back in place. You may have to use a ratchet as the axle itself will shift to the left. So you'll have to use a ratchet and attach it to the right side of the axle and come over here to the left side of the frame. Ratchet it a few times to get that track bar back in on that end over here. So over here, we have our new bracket for our track bar, for our steering dampener. And then we got the new sway bar end links that we took from the rear and brought up here because the other ones were just too small. So we have that, and that's pretty much it on the front end. So in the rear, first thing you need to do is remove your brake line, 10 millimeter. Remove your shock. On the bottom, it's going to be a 18 millimeter. To get that out, we're going to remove the track bar. Down here, move the track bar. And I just loosened the sway bar end links on the bottom, just so we could drop the axle down and get the springs out. There's a vent tube that you need to reroute on top of the cross member up top that goes to your axle. And there's also that bracket right there that hooks to the bottom of the Jeep. There's two 10 millimeter bolts that holds that metal bracket in. Other than that, once you do all that, you'll let it down and your springs will just pop out. Just like this. So there's your isolator. You need to make sure you put that back on your other spring, your newer spring, and we should be good to go. So now there's a couple of brackets we have to bolt on the back. Over there, those little blocks, they go right here and bolt in. And then that funny looking bracket, wherever it's at, it's over there by the shock. This bracket right here will go right here, just like this. And it'll line up with these two holes that's already in here. So I'll get this started and I'll show you the finished product. But today, their intertwined lives face an uncertain future. All right, YouTube, we got our rear traction bracket in. The bolt goes through the middle hole. We got our shocks back in. We got our brake lines back on, our extensions. We got our new shock with our new shock angle mounts in. So all in all, not too bad. Takes some time, especially when you're trying to video. But for the most part, we are done. Next thing to do is take it to an alignment shop and go from there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. We are done. Wheels are back on. It's back on the ground. As you can see, we got plenty of clearance. We're running 12.5 by 33s, 20s, all the way around. So plenty of clearance in the front. Again, only thing I gotta do is just go back and make sure I torque everything. And take it, get it aligned. I know I was all over the place, but my camera battery died. It got late. I was out here till like midnight last night, so it is what it is. So, having said that, it's all complete. It's all back together. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, as always, put them in the comments and leave them below. Until the next one. Peace. Go ahead.